Hey guys, it's time for the question of the week. Um, this week's question is comes from someone in my Be With Your Twin Flame Facebook group, and it's how do you know if someone is your twin flame? Do you just know? So yeah, so the answer to this question isn't just a basic, yes, you know, no, you don't know thing. Um, you do just know when someone's your twin flame, but you might not know it. Know implies something with the mind, like you know something, like you have knowledge. This is not a journey of the mind, it is a journey of the soul. So your soul knows, but that doesn't mean you know physically. And so uh, your soul knows if you're on the twin flame journey that it has met your twin flame, that it knows who your twin flame is. And that happens at what's called soul recognition. Soul recognition is the exact moment that your soul recognizes itself in the physical body of your twin flame. Now, you don't have to know when this happened. You most likely didn't. Again, it's not a conscious thing. It's not in the mind. So it doesn't matter whether you knew it in your mind at the time. It just happens that your soul recognized itself in the body of your twin flame, which means, of course, because you're the same soul, your twin flame soul also recognized itself within your body because it's you. So that's with soul recognition. That explains why, maybe some of you do know that you're in a twin flame journey and that someone's your twin flame, but your twin flame is gone, has been MIA, has ghosted you, has totally cut you off or something, or keeps coming and going, but it seems to be clueless and has no idea that you're twin flames or anything. And that could be why, because even though their soul knows, which is your soul, which it knows, it recognized itself within each other's bodies, you don't know in your head necessarily. So you know, your soul knows, and that's all that matters. You don't have to know in your mind. And this brings us to another point. You may be wondering then, perhaps, so why, first of all, this is a truth. Everyone has crossed paths with their twin flame in every lifetime in some way, shape, or form. There are people who are married to their twin flames and been married for 60 years or something, I guess if they're really old, or let's just say 20 years or something, and they don't even know that they're twin flames. They don't even know what twin flames are. They're not going through all the craziness, but they are twin flames. There's people who have grown up next door to their twin flame their whole lives, and so they're almost like brother and sister growing up next door, and they're the best of friends, but nothing romantic involved, and they don't know they're twin flames, but they're twin flames. You could have, or someone could stand in line next to their twin flame at Starbucks in the morning, or just cross on a busy street, and their paths are crossing, but they have no idea that they're twin flames. So if that's the case, then why are some people, like all of us, in the midst of a twin flame journey, but yet other people, even though they've crossed paths with their twin flames, aren't in a twin flame journey? The majority of people aren't out there in a twin flame journey, let's face it. And this also has to do with soul recognition. So soul recognition, remember, is when your soul recognizes itself in the body of your twin flame, and vice versa. So again, this happens on the deepest subconscious soul level, and the only thing that can make it happen is when your soul is ready. Your soul decides this. You don't decide it. Your twin flame doesn't decide it. Nobody else decides it but your soul. So people are just on different I guess, places in their journey, different areas on their path, different levels of consciousness. And that's perfect. Everyone's exactly where they're meant to be at every given time. And it's perfect for them. And so right now, if you're on a twin flame journey, your soul just happens to be ready for this journey. And it needs to be ready. And so you've had what's called soul recognition. People that, could be with their twin flames and not even realize it or know it, or be going through this, what seems to be all of the chaos of the twin flame journey. It's just that they haven't had what's called soul recognition. Which really translates and manifests physically as it being just like it is with any other relating experience, and not a twin flame relating experience physically. So maybe in the next lifetime, they'll have soul recognition. Or maybe later on in this lifetime, suddenly, oops, there's soul recognition and all their whole wonderful relationship goes to hell. No, I'm just kidding. It's a beautiful journey. But, it's just that soul recognition. That explains why some people are going through a twin flame journey and the majority of people out there aren't. It's a very relatively new experience for us as human beings, as a human race, with the gradual rising of human consciousness that's happened really within the past 5-10 years. That's when a lot of twin flames have had more and more soul recognition. So that, I hope, answers your question. You don't know necessarily in your head if someone's your twin flame, but you know, and your soul knows. And the way to tell if your soul knows is something's driving you here. Something is leading you here, and that's your soul. Your soul is orchestrating everything in your life. And so your soul is bringing in, first of all, this craziness, this intense pain or heartbreak, or, just that difference, that little difference of like what you're experiencing after having related with your twin flame than what you've experienced ever before in your life with anyone else. It's that knowing. That is your soul knowing. And your soul will lead you to the right place if you allow it to, and you don't let your mind get in the way and worry about all things in the physical world and whatever's going on there. Your soul knows, and your soul knows the way to get you to feeling better and back to your twin flame. And your soul wants you to be with your twin flame. It desires itself. You just have to make it through this first part of your journey. This is the very first step of your ascension. And so it's way more about just getting the twin flame. Yes, that happens. It's an awesome byproduct. Being with the twin flame is usually the catalyst for all of this. But this is really the very first step of your ascension. This is your wake-up call. And that's why it has to be so painful. Because it has to get your attention, and that's your soul getting your attention. So one more thing about soul recognition. At soul recognition, it's that moment in time when your soul recognizes itself energetically on that deep soul level that it is, the energy that it is in the physical body of your twin flame. And what that does is it activates that energy. It activates the two polarities, because you are each a different opposite polarity of the exact same soul, which is energy. And that's why you're in two separate bodies, because you needed to be two different polarities. Your soul needs to be two different polarities in order to incarnate here into a physical world of polarity. So when your soul recognition and those polarities become activated, they start by building up. And that is that intense, amazing honeymoon period that you feel with the twin flame. And that's why it feels so amazing and so awesome and so perfect. And like you fit together like the pieces of a puzzle, and it feels like home and all that amazing stuff. And then all of a sudden they reach a tipping point. They build up, and then it reaches a tipping point where those polarities, while they're coming together, then all of a sudden they repel. And it just happens after a certain amount of time. And all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose and everything seems to go to shit. But it really doesn't. That's just your wake-up call. That begins the fun part of the journey. That begins the work to really get you to, an even better place than the best part of the honeymoon period. And you really will, once you learn how to balance out those polarities and bring you two back together again. So I hope this helped answer your questions, and hit me up if you have any more questions you'd like me to address in another question of the week. And be gentle with yourselves today especially, and in the next couple days. If you've been feeling kind of crazy energies, there's a lot of cosmic activity going on out there. There's a full blood moon. There's the longest lunar eclipse of the entire century going on. Those of us in North America will not see it, but the rest of the world will. But that doesn't mean we can't all feel the energies. We all will be. Mercury's back in retrograde. I mean, there's a whole bunch of crazy cosmic stuff going on. And when another thing with soul recognition, when your polarities become activated, that energy is very susceptible to feeling the energies and the effects of energies of other cosmic events. So that's why these things, certain, moon phases and equinoxes and solstices and eclipses, things like that, all tend to affect people in a twin flame journey so much more, or they tend to affect you so much more than they ever did before you started this journey. And there's a reason for that. And that's because your activated polarized energy that happened at soul recognition is very susceptible to these energies. Once you balance this out, you won't be as susceptible anymore. So that also is a good reason to balance it out. Anyway, so be gentle with yourselves. Feel your feelings. Don't believe any of the nasty thoughts that come in. And take care and have a great weekend. And I will see you next week. Bye.